In other news now, Moscow has said it had nothing to do with the poisoning of former Russian intelligence agent Sergey Skripal and his daughter in Britain. It comes after Prime Minister Theresa May demanded answers from the Kremlin about the incident.
Russia is innocent. We're waiting for the United Kingdom to respond to a request that we filed in accordance with the very same convention about the necessity to provide us with the substance in question and the necessity to make the whole investigation open to us, because we're talking about a Russian citizen.
Authorities in the UK are still investigating the poisoning of Sergey Skripal and his daughter Yulia. They believe the pair were deliberately targeted with a nerve agent. Traces of the substance have been detected at the restaurant where the two ate before they were found unconscious on a nearby park bench. Polly Boyko has the latest on the escalating dispute between London and Moscow.
Well, we have a situation of a real diplomatic standoff right now, where both the UK and Russia are demanding more information about the nerve agent used in the attack in Salisbury from each other. Russia's rejecting Britain's ultimatum, effectively, while at the same time, Boris Johnson, who's Sergey Lavrov's British counterpart here, the Foreign Secretary, he's reiterating the ultimatum. Take a listen.
We want the Russians to give an account of what's been going on, and if they can come up with a convincing explanation, then clearly full disclosure needs to be given to the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, the Chemical Weapons Watchdog in The Hague. We've given them until midnight tonight to do that. If they can't, then clearly the UK government will come forward with measures, a response that is commensurate but robust.
Well, you heard the word robust there. That's been a word that's been deployed by the British government in relation to measures towards Russia throughout this kind of diplomatic crisis, and it has turned into a diplomatic standoff. Yesterday, Theresa May pointed the finger squarely at the Kremlin when she was talking about the nerve agent used in the attack in Salisbury. She spoke about it being weapons grade and from the Novichok family, which was secretly produced in the Soviet Union in the 1980s, but in the 90s information about it was leaked. So technically it's a recipe that's out there and could have been used by anyone, but Theresa May in Parliament said that it could have only have been produced in Russia. So this is an attack that was either sanctioned by Moscow or Moscow's lost control of a prohibited and dangerous chemical weapon. Now, practically all the politicians in the House of Commons in the UK agreed and supported Theresa May's intended course of action in relation to Russia. Take a listen.
The government has concluded that it is highly likely that Russia was responsible for the act against Sergey and Yulia Skripal.
We are not backing down. This is an act of terrorism.
We possess a considerable range of offensive cyber capabilities, which we will not hesitate to deploy against that state if it is necessary.
We've all agreed that Russia is a clear and present danger. We have got to be fully organised to meet that danger.
Now, the Home Secretary Amber Rudd has chaired another emergency Cobra committee meeting today. She was getting updates on that investigation into the spy poisoning, which some people might be forgiven for mistakenly thinking had stopped. But that investigation is still ongoing. There's still lots to uncover there. And Amber Rudd, the Home Secretary, has also announced that following media allegations that the deaths of other Russian dissidents or businessmen may have been suspicious, she's instructed the police and MI5 to assist with looking into the alleged Russian state involvement in the deaths of up to 14 more people on UK soil.
No evidence has yet been provided of Russia's involvement in the attempted murder of the former spy. But some news outlets have been busy speculating on how the UK could respond. One British paper has suggested there will be an increased NATO presence on Russia's border and that further sanctions could be imposed on the country. Another suggests senior Russian diplomats could be expelled and that UK politicians could boycott the upcoming FIFA World Cup. Some claim the assets of Russian oligarchs could be frozen, and we spoke to journalist Fred Ware. He told us the British Prime Minister is attempting to politicise the attack.
Quite possible that these agents, these weapons have spread after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Who knows who might have got their hands on some of these things. She did choose to blame Russia before all the facts are in, and that's politics. It's not forensics or detective work. It's clearly politics. So there's a domestic layer to it, no doubt. That finding to stand up and face Russia, to face Putin, to be strong, is very much in Theresa May's political interests right now, because she's in political trouble at home. So she has the reasons that have nothing to do with the poisoning, nothing to do with even with Russia really, to put on a very strong-willed performance right now and make this ultimatum.